welcome back. Now, can you believe, we can't believe it's over 40 years since Madness released their debut single, and with a brand new album out and a UK tour on that horizon, the boys showing no signs of slowing down.
Absolutely not. In just a moment, we're going to be talking to Suggs and Mike. They're already chatting away. But first, let's take a look back at some of those legendary hits.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our... I've been driving in my car. It don't look much, but I've been far. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. Welcome to the house of fun. Now I've come of age. Welcome to the house of fun. Welcome to the lion's den. Temptations on its way. Welcome to the house of fun.
Oh, that's great memories for all of us. Now joined by Suggs and Mike. Hello, gents.
Hello.
Hi there.
Lovely to have you with us.
It's lovely.
Lovely to be here, lovely to be here.
Do you ever look back at stuff like that? You ever see those old videos?
Most evenings, yeah, when you... when you get after dinner, get out the old videos. A lot of them these days as well.
You're Ferrero Rocher stuff. Who wasn't want to see our old videos? No, when I get caught
like to
watching
see baggy
it,
trousers.
I mean, yeah, I know, actually, I won't say it. But no, it's almost worse than being caught watching porn, you know, when you're indoors watching your own videos. Dad!
There's something about it. We get it.
Every now and then.
The shame of it all.
We get it.
Every now and then.
And what I love about your story is, I mean, your career has just spanned so long, but you didn't get that easy break, did you? You know, we talk about... Nowadays, it's a lot easier, I suppose. There's different social media platforms and we've had massive shows like The X Factor that have broke so many stars.
Yeah.
But you guys were knocking on doors and, you know, Irish pubs and however that worked. You were really sort of went about it the traditional way.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, which you have to, obviously, when you're thinking about the past.
It's normally how it works.
No, we were kind of like the 60s when we started, and that's how it was. You know, you made 3 singles, 1 album, and you toured, and you toured, and you toured, and you toured. And we got to a certain point where we started getting a bit exhausted with that process, but you're absolutely right. But the other difference, I mean, whether to say it's easier now, I mean, when I look at Camden Town where we started, there were like 10 or 12 pubs that had function rooms where you could get a gig as a band. I don't know, you know, as an artist
really
now, you
like
can... I saw a great documentary about how grime started, you know, in some clubs in the East End, and they were just doing it on their mobile phones. So there's always a way to be creative. But I think it's more difficult for bands now, because there are very few venues where you can get a 6, 7-piece band like us on stage.
It's probably the reach that's easier. You put it on an app and you hit people like overnight, don't you? Whereas I suppose you're slowly building up momentum. But
I don't... I mean... completely don't understand. Like Dermot, I'm an old man, you know, there's modern stuff. But it's this sort of chicken and egg. You know, they go, what are your socials? But you can't get your socials until you've actually done something. You're supposed to sort of get them out of the ether.
Well, it's interesting with you, because you're a collection of very big personalities, Madness, and you've...
No, I wouldn't go that far.
You've sort of fallen out and got on and taken hiatuses and stuff, but there's something that keeps you going. And is it, like, were you all listening to the same music growing up? Because I came to see you, I've seen you many times, but I came to see you when you did the, was it the Dangerman sessions? Which is all the stuff that you really loved when you were kids and reinventing it, right? So was that how the band got together? Was it just that love of old school dancehall and ska and a bit of punk and a bit of...
Yeah, I mean, we share... There was a big overlap between the stuff that we liked, and we all also grew up at the same time, but there was definitely something, you know, that's why we got together in a large part in the band, because of our taste in music, yeah. So that was the kind of, you know...
I mean, where we grew up, there was, like, gang, I don't know, about 30 or 40 of us that I sort of was in the firmament of. And there were various ways it was going, you know, like Mike said the other day, Wormwood Scrubs, you know, black cab driving, sport, all of which took far too much focus from me. But then there was us that were into music, you know, and then Mike and Chris and a couple of them started to take it seriously because everyone was talking about starting a band, but it was all just farting about. And we started rehearsing properly, and then started to realise maybe this could be something.
This-
you know,
yeah,
could
this
be
could actually
something.
happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, Derm said, you know, you had a few hiatuses. Coming back now and performing together after all that time, has anything changed? Do you instantly go back into, I'd imagine, old habits or how it was, or does it feel completely different?
Yeah, how much we hate each other. That came straight out of the bag.
You fall back into those old roles.
Brilliant.
You
No,
know that
I'm
being a band.
joking,
Do you
yeah.
fall back
No.
into those old roles? Like, do you always go, you know, I know that so-and-so's going to, like...
This one's the talker, this
Exactly.
one's the... Yeah. Does it go back there, or does it feel
Has it
completely
evolved?
different?
That you have a certain characters and you presume that everybody's going to have the same character forever, you mean, and it creates
Or just
problems,
the same
yeah.
sort of roles in that group dynamic, I suppose?
No, not really, no. I mean, that's not a good way to do it, I think. It's better... I mean, we communicate much more than we used to.
Talking.
And you can fall into habits. I mean,
Amazing.
we had more
work?
people in the
Rather than
band. We
rolling
used to have
around
a
on
lot-
the floor, pulling each other's hair out.
We used to have a
actually
lot of
talk.
arguments. We had more members in the band at one point, and we had a lot of arguments, and then there were a bit less members in the band, and then arguments started coming up again, you know. And I think it's kind of relevant with this day and age, when all this polarisation going on, that people have to talk to each other, you know, they have to communicate.
Communicate.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
trying to do that, I think, yeah. And
I mean,
so
to
then
hit
you
the
learn.
nail on the head with your question is tolerance, tolerance
Yeah.
of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, I
you
can't
know...
remember, it was some journalist who said, you know, the sort of middle ground got burnt and scorched.
Yeah.
You're either on that side or that side.
Yeah.
And we were like a microcosm of that, you know, what we fought during the lockdown. But when we got in the studio and started playing music together, it transcends
Yeah.
all
Let's
that.
talk about that,
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
like, you're a London band, and what I've always loved about you is how you've evolved and you sort of tell London's story. And I lived over here in London half my life, and I love you for that, because, you know, Liberty and Norton Folgate was one of my favourite albums, and that was an ode to a certain part of London, wasn't it? So tell us a little bit about this, C'est la vie. So what do you love to write about now?
Well, like I said, we come out of that lockdown like everybody else, slightly shocked and horrified by what had happened and were we ever going to get out of there. I wrote a song called Theatre of the Absurd, which was about this vision of being locked in a theatre where the doors were all shut, the orchestra didn't know what the songs were, no one knows what songs to sing. And then I found out there was a whole theatre of the absurd in the 20s or 30s after the First World War, which was the surreality of Samuel Beckett, and then there was a French theatrical group that were writing plays in gobbledygook because we all seemed to not be able to communicate anymore. And then Mike said he didn't like that. He wanted to call it C'est la vie. And then you can see.
So
He
we
won.
talked,
So there
and we
go.
found compromise, and we have Theatre of the
Still got
Absurd
his name
presents
at the top
Madness, C'est
there.
la
I
vie.
tried
There we
to
are.
have it as
Right.
small as possible, but
There you go,
still
but we
there.
got it.
And then
And a little birdie tells me that you are up against Taylor Swift for the #1 spot.
Numero uno.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but please, people of a certain generation, who would you want, us or...
Lovely Taylor Swift.
I
There you
can't
go.
quite say the words.
There you go. We're done. We're done.
And then you're out on tour next week. Tell it, when's the last time you all played live together?
Not for a little while, so it's just been a great period. You know, this album's been very well received
Yeah.
and or could be #1. Let's not get carried away. And the tour's pretty much sold out, so we couldn't be in a better place for a load of old, darzers, as my old man used to say.
Well, it's lovely to have the old Garzers with us.
Yes,
you.
it absolutely
Madness,
is.
brand new album, Theatre of the Absurd. Well,
Good luck with it.
Present Sailor.
Let's see. Let's
Thank
see
you.
what
Is that
happens.
best luck with the tour as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, come